part 55 of Don't Say Schwarzenegger. This is a continuance of part 54, where I'll be talking about character letters of support that were written to the judge in our case in support of defendant Shawn Driz, who was found guilty of GBI felonies, many other counts, owes tens of millions of dollars to all of his victims, and hasn't paid a dime. So let's go. First up, we have Fernando Scanelli, and that's him with his new wife, Robin Lipman. He's the same age as Shawn Driz, about 33, from the LA area. He's currently a marketing consultant in Long Island, New York. And it was a little hard to find things about him at first, but after some digging, I was able to find it, because that's what I do. And I found some really interesting connections between Fernando's family and Shawn Driz's family, especially when it comes to the illegal trust fund called the Annabella Nicole Trust that was created and had millions of dollars put into it after the lawsuits began, so that the survivors would all be left in the dark with no way to pay for anything. Let's get into it. So I discovered that Amelia Scanelli is now Amelia Macchiavello, and she's Fernando's mom, and her entire IG is just covered with her working with and promoting Sergio Siderman. He is Sergio Siderman of the Sergio Siderman law firm in Sherman Oaks, California. Sergio is also family related, like uncle, cousin, something like that, according to all their captions, to all the Drizzes. So the importance of this is that Sergio's name and another, I think his wife is Myrta, M-I-R-T-A, Myrta Siderman. Her name is all over the illegal trust fund that was made in Annabella Nicole Driz's name, which hid millions and millions of dollars illegally from all the survivors of them. Interestingly enough, Amelia Macchiavello, she's a journalist, just like Maria Shriver, and she's an Emmy winner, which is really shocking to me because of what her close ones are involved with, and that she's promoting the Sergio Siderman law firm. By the way, before I read this and then the next character letter, I came up with a theory that I think is pretty spot on exactly why the young men and the certain people that did write these character letters wrote them for Shawn. And I'll get to that after I'm done reading the next one. Let's go. Okay, so Fernando Scanelli, he wrote his character reference for Shawn Driz, and it says, "Your Honor, I am writing to provide a character reference for Mr. Shawn Driz, whom I have known for over 6 years. I feel compelled to share my perspective on his character. I am firmly convinced that Mr. Shawn Driz is an individual of exceptional moral character and integrity. Throughout our long association and frequent interactions across various fields, environments, and circumstances, word salad, he has demonstrated a strong sense of responsibility, reliability, honesty, and compassion. Notably, he has consistently shown respect for others, except his victims, and has proven on multiple occasions to be a person deeply committed to ethical and moral values." Okay. If you have any further questions or require additional information, please do not hesitate to contact me. Thank you for your time and consideration. Sincerely, Fernando Scanelli. It's funny that Fernando and none of these people showed up to one court date, whether it was the criminal prelim, which lasted a year, or the civil trial, which was 3 weeks. Nobody showed up in person to support. Almost like they were worried that maybe the plaintiffs would recognize them from that night. I'll talk about that later. Okay, so next up, we have a guy named Corbin Holt, and here's a picture of him and Shawn Driz hanging out in Scotland, among many other travel pictures. They have seen the world these last several years. Well, Shawn has been destitute and too broke to pay any of his victims. Corbin Holt is from Manhattan Beach, and he went to Loyola Marymount University. So Corbin, who's in the middle, that's Shawn on the left, he has been the CEO of a company called Levls, which is like something like a fitness app or something. I don't know. That's Corbin on the right. That's Shawn Driz in the middle. And that's them partying in Turks and Caicos just last year. He's also he runs a company called Honey. It's an app, and it's about like coupon clipping or something. Corbin, who is from Loyola Marymount University here in California, is also a member of the Sigma Chi frat. This guy named NICK DE VIRGILIO, he's also from Manhattan Beach, just like they all are, and he also went to Loyola Marymount here in California, and he's in a lot of their luxury first-class trips that I found. Here's a picture that they posted of them staying at the St. Regis in Mallorca. So really broken indigent people here. Can't pay the survivors, just can't do it. So you can screenshot it if you want. Okay, so here's his letter for Shawn Driz. To whom it may concern, I'm writing on behalf of my close personal friend, Shawn Driz. We grew up together in middle school and high school, but in the last few years, we've reconnected and have grown incredibly close. I bet it was since 2015. I'll tell you why later. I now would consider Shawn a brother of mine. Shawn has the incredible ability to light up the room with his warm personality, but what's quickly become obvious is how big of a heart he has. He treats everyone around him like family and has a deep love for those close to him. I've been fortunate enough to become so close with Shawn and consider him family myself. My older brother passed away when I was 12 years old, and admittedly, I've had a void ever since his passing. Not having a brotherly figure to look up to and help shape me has been something that I've struggled with in my adult life. I now view Shawn as that older brother that I've been missing. He's helped shape me into the man I am today, yikes, and I owe a lot of my good fortune to the guidance that he has provided. Can you imagine being guided by Shawn? Reminder, part 34, if you haven't checked back just to see public statements that I discovered and posted on part 34 from Shawn Driz, check it out. Okay. Anyways, it pains me to see all the hardships that he has to go through. Can you imagine the hardship being like, oh, I had to stop paying rent, and a Schwarzenegger family member moved me rent-free into their amazing multi-million-dollar home for years, and I drive a Rolls-Royce Phantom to court hearings. Rough. Okay, all the hardships he's had to go through given his current situation, and I can wholeheartedly vouch that he is one of the most kind-hearted, loving, and giving persons, except to the survivors, I've had the opportunity to spend time with. My hope is that he can move on from any incidents in the past and work with a clean slate moving forward. He is the most deserving of that opportunity, literally the least, but warm regards, Corbin Holt. It's really interesting. Again, Corbin also never attended any of the criminal prelim, which was 1 year long, 2015 and 16, and he never attended one day of the civil trial that we won, which we're owed about $106 million now that's never been paid, while Corbin is gallivanting around the world, staying at the St. Regis, flying first class with Shawn Driz at his side, Turks and Caicos, Cabo, all that stuff. It's interesting. I should have labeled this, sorry about that, but I found this picture of Corbin with his group of friends, and they're clearly in Cabo in 2022. And if you look, third person from the left in the dark shirt, that's Christina Schwarzenegger. And there's her longtime boyfriend next to her left, that's Shawn Driz. And next to Shawn Driz, that's Corbin Holt. And then their other buddies that are living the luxury lifestyle. So something that occurred to me in the last couple weeks is I was trying to figure out how they got all these people to write these letters, like Annabella Driz's stepdad, Peter Goldstein, how they got Corbin Holt and Fernando Scantarelli and Daniel Rudyak, the people that I read in the last part and everything who wrote these letters, because these are literally the guiltiest, most violent, scary criminals. They've been found guilty on everything. Even outside the court case, 2 of them were found guilty of schmexual battery of an underage girl. They're awful. Another one had a temporary restraining order granted against him by his girlfriend after all the assaults and everything had happened. So why would these people put their reputations on the line to write these letters of support for Shawn? And it occurred to me that all of us plaintiffs remember that there was at least another 6 to 10 men in their group that night standing there in the video off to the side that we all remembered that were part of the violence, but were never ID'd. It wasn't just, 3-4 guys that did it. It was 8 to 10 men that should have been convicted of GBI felonies and attempted unaliving. And it almost makes me wonder if they were there that night, and again, this is hypothetical, wondering if these men, Fernando, Corbin, all them, were there that night. And I wonder if they were part of the violence, and if they had to stick their neck out and say, okay, if you keep my identity secret and not have to go through this legal process, I'll do something for you. I'll write this letter for you, which will bring us to Ray Nicholson, Jack Nicholson's son soon.